There we are. Well, hello and welcome back, everybody. As we approach the end of March 2023, let's see, what is it? It's the 27th. So what, 3 days, 4 days left, 3.5 days. So normally I would talk about month end, our month end strategy, and especially given what we talked about last week, the whole concept of taprooting and how important that is to being able to set up a proper month end, therefore the ability to leverage the month end, which is the training that I gave last month end. And we talked about the concept of, like I refer to it as tic-tac-toe, because that's how you remember it. In any event, I'm just going to suggest you go back and watch that if you want to understand how to best take advantage of and leverage month-end strategy. If you've been doing the work, and the work is, of course, contacting and inviting people and into this process of investigation of NICAN. If you've been doing that work and you have people at varying degrees, members on your team at varying degrees of involvement or of overview, then this is the time of the month where we want to help them make some decisions, and anything we can do to incentivize that, to create a bit of an urgency, is brilliant. And so that's what I talked about in that month-end strategy a month ago. So you can watch that video on the Royal Alliance YouTube channel. Most of you know where it is. It's also, if you scroll back in, if you're on the chat, the core consultant chat, you can scroll back and to that video and watch that playback again, the month-end strategy for how to wrap up the month and really get the most out of the month by having people make decisions. If it wasn't for the fact that NICAN had a month end, there would be no urgency around making decisions by month end. And why do we need to make decisions by month end? Well, if you're just doing retail, I guess there's really no urgency for you to do it unless that retail sale contributes to an advancement in rank. Because a retail sale is going to get paid the following Friday anyways. But if that retail sale contributes to someone on your team advancing in rank or meeting their qualifications for their bonuses, whether it's their rebates, overrides, or their bonuses at the leadership rank, then those sales matter, and having them done before the end of the month matters so that we can have a proper month. Why? Because our business is predicated on monthly activity. Our rank advancements is predicated on the volume achieved within a month. So we want to be in the business of that behavior. It's not something you bypass. It's something that you make part of your business protocol. If you were operating a Wendy's restaurant, if you were operating, I don't know, name it, any business, all businesses have, at least successful businesses, have an MO, a way of operating, a method of operating. And so there are some things that they follow as protocols that they do every day, every week, every month. Same with our business. And it's important to know what they are if you want to have a business that has long-term viability. So one of those things is to measure the month. Now, we're not at the month end yet. So if you have a goal, if you had set your goal, like we talked about early in the month, like we talk about every month, then don't give up on your goal yet. The month is not over. And it's really important. I'm going to talk a little bit about this that I talked with the French team earlier about the significance of our intention. So don't take your foot off the gas. The month is not finished. And when the month finishes, that's when you can reset your goal or set a new goal. And I often tell people, don't ever change your goal, change your strategy. Your goal is worthy of you if it's a goal that gets you excited. If it's not something that gets you excited, then you haven't set a big enough goal, and it's not therefore challenging you. And more importantly, I don't know how much I can stress this, but you're only going to get access. The creative power that flows to and through you, that animates every living thing in the entire universe, is going to endow you with possibility limited only by what you allow and you accept as viable for yourself. In other words, your self-image and not God's will is what's happening to you. God's will for you is far greater than anything you've probably imagined for yourself. And so the limitation that we experience in life, what we allow to come through us and into our presence and our reality, is governed by whatever limitations we have for ourselves. And so if we don't open up that channel, if we don't allow that to flow, we're going to always be receiving what it is that we're accustomed to receiving, which means if you don't set a goal that stretches you, you're not going to get something that stretches you and expands you. You're just going to get the same old, because you won't be open to receive anything new, any new information, any new insights, any new possibilities, any new people. People are there. All the people that are necessary for you to achieve your goal are in existence, but they won't cross your path because you've limited that possibility from happening. And this is essentially what I'm talking about, is how the law of attraction works, because it's as lawful as anything is. Most people believe it on a superficial level, but they don't understand they're actually manifesting it in a very real level every single day. So one of the things as a coach, as a mentor, as a leader in the Nikan field, one of the things I personally focus on is vision. There's a saying in the Bible, where there is no vision, the people will perish. And so you will see even on this team call, you'll see people come and go. Why aren't they here? Maybe their vision has perished and they haven't fanned the flames of that vision. They've been doing it, they've been motivated externally, not internally. The fire isn't on the inside, it's on the outside. And of course, that's not going to forge long-term vision. That's not going to forge long and lasting results. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later. I do want to get into this. This is the real goal of this call, but we are in month end. And having said so, I know, for instance, let me just check my notes here. Holly's on the call. Holly Frisch, is that how I pronounce it, Holly? Is it Frisch or Frisk?
No, it's Frisch.
Frisch. Holly Frisch is a new Nikan executive for this month of March. Welcome, Holly, to the Nikan family and to your rank advancement.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I guess you're maybe a little surprised that I noted that, but I want to thank Paul Gavios.
No, Paul tipped me off.
Okay. Good for you, Paul. And he tipped me off too, as well, by the way, as a good sponsor and upline would do. And we definitely want to give recognition where recognition is due, because you've earned it. And one of the things that I think is super, super important in our business is to recognize achievement and to recognize the achievements that we want to see happen more often. And of course, executive is the second rank in our compensation plan. And so next, Holly, what's next for you? If you're not sure, I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, and I wouldn't be upset about it either. Because if you've got a really, go ahead.
It's not just to acquire and try more products.
Oh, good for you. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, that's probably where most of us started, is learning about the products. It's, that's when you embrace active wellness and it becomes part of your way of doing life, then you're going to be in a better position to tell people about that. And it's your story that's going to compel people to give it a try. One of the things that our business is based on is sharing your story, your own personal story. And obviously, if you have access to more products, more experience, you're able to better share what is the impact of the Nikan Wellness Home to the degree that you've embraced it. So good for you. I was going to go ahead.
We shouldn't forget about the other person who came under me and actually all by himself became an executive representative.
Oh, what's that person's name? Are they on the call?
No, his name is Steve Hostalis, and he's a friend of Paul's and Mary Ellen's and mine, who lives in Chicago.
Fantastic, Steve, who lives in Chicago. If you get to watch this playback or listen to this playback, I want to say congratulations on behalf of Nikan and the Nikan family as well on your rank advancement this month. That's fabulous. Now, again, I was saying rank advancements are it's lifeblood in our business. But if you don't know what the next step is, that doesn't surprise me. If you've got a really good upline, you probably won't know you're a silver until you're a silver, because they've pretty much coached you to do the right things. And when you do the right things, you end up getting where you got to go. And if a good coach kind of knows how to steer you in the right direction. So the next rank for you is silver. So we're going to be encouraging you to keep on keeping on. And maybe on the next call, we'll be able to congratulate you as a new silver. I'll leave that in the hands of your able and capable upline. Paula, are you direct sponsor, Holly?
Yes.
Awesome.
So, yes. So,
Terrific. How did you meet, by the way?
Oh, well, we've known each other for many years through the National Federation of the Blind, and there are conventions, and we go to these conventions. And so, and I knew Steve from there, and Holly just happened to do a three-way call with Steve on not necessarily even a Nikan matter, but just a three-way call. And so then that way I was able to get Steve's number. And Holly knows about network marketing. And but I think, like many people can know about network marketing, but she knew, she trusted me with Steve, but now there are people that she knows that I don't know. But what interested them primarily was the self-care approach to life. And so, of course, Gary Lindner has many videos about that. Self-care matters, and water and air and sleep, they all matter. He's got a 4-minute introduction that anybody can just send to somebody, and just as an ask, say, are you interested in self-care? These days, most people are. So rather than feeling like you have to sell something, you're just probing, as I did with Holly and Steve, to find out what their concerns were. And then we
That's fantastic. Paul, would you mind sharing that video with me, and I'll share it with the group, that intro?
Yeah, I don't know how to do it and staying on the call. So as soon as the call,
oh no, not now,
over,
just after the call, you can share it.
Yeah,
and then
I'll share it with you.
I'll share with the group in the chat. That's excellent. You know, right now, we're looking for a better way. Essentially, we're looking for a better way to tell people about Nikan. So one of the things that is, I mean, the easiest way is to find something short and sweet that you can share electronically with somebody and say, check this out, tell me if it gets your interest. It's a lot easier than trying to meet up with somebody on a phone call. I mean, people are really hard to get a hold of these days. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I said, do you realize that we talk more by text than we do actually with one another? It's the craziest thing. We've de-evolved to a society that texts with their finger instead of talks with their mouth.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is, because people can multitask that way, and that's what we're doing these days. So yeah, that'd be great to share that video.
Okay.
And I don't know if you finished that story. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I think I have. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
well,
we really have to. The task for a sponsor is to make it as easy as possible for somebody to connect with other people, because that's where many people's concerns are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If everybody knew about Nikken, let's just say everybody in Canada or everybody in North America, every single human being, let's say of age of majority and up, had at least learned about Nikken to the degree where they understood, oh, this is the company that does such and creates this. Let's say they just knew in a sentence or two what Nikken was. Given what we know statistically, a percentage of those people would be customers. A percentage of those people would join as consultants, and a percentage of those people would start moving up the compensation plan. We know that, statistics, right? And so can you imagine how many Royal Diamonds we would have if that happened? How many diamonds, how many platinums, how many golds, how many silvers, how many consultants, how many customers would that represent? And how much business would that represent? I mean, it would be in the, well, we already know it's in the billions because we've done my company alone, my network, my team has done over $1 billion in business. And it's not even, and the entire Nikken North American penetration is less than 1%. So what would that look like if we actually got to everybody? Well, we probably will never have that ever happen because, well, you know, people are being born every day. People are immigrating every day. The population increases faster than our ability to keep up to it in terms of our sharing ability. But what if we had a simpler way to share? What if we had a faster way to share? Which is why a lot of people, by the way, have turned to social media as a way to share, because they can share a post, they can share a message or a series of messages. My daughter, Sophia, she's building most of everything she does entirely on social media. She doesn't leave the house. So she's doing things just from her social media connection with people. So it works. But the point I'm making here is what you said, Paul. If we can make it easier for people to reach out to people, and to the degree where they can reach out to more people in less time, so that they can sort who is actually interested in knowing more, and then investing the time in the people who are interested in knowing more. That's critical. So that first thing we're talking about is called prospecting. Prospecting is not the same as educating and enrolling. Prospecting is just to find out if somebody's actually interested in the subject. Then you educate and enroll them into the solution. So, so finding a way to get things done as more streamlined is what I'm working on right now. So if you've got some ideas, please send them my way. Email me, goodvibesintl@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to incorporate that into our, we have a working document that we're working on and a project that we're working on as team leaders to try and make the business more streamlined, more so than it is already, to make just what you're saying happen easier. In fact, I'm going to share with you, what I'm going to share with you next is the new PowerPoint of a Better Way presentation. I'm not going to do the actual presentation. I'm just going to walk you through the slides so you see what it looks and feels like. And of course, the idea is not for you guys to become excellent presenters, but for those of you who are going to put a live presentation on, you need some presentation to do. So I'm going to suggest this is a good way to present Nikken. It's going to be made available to everybody to download onto your computer. But of course, what we're going to do is record somebody or a group of us doing this presentation, so we have it as a recording that we can share what Nikken's all about. And we'll post that in one of our channels, and primarily the one pager, a Better Way pager from the Royal Alliance. That's www.theroyalaliance.com/better-way. If you go to that page, then you'll see a number of things that you can share with somebody. You can just send it to that page and say, hey, check out a couple of these links and see if that strikes you. Anyways, that's why I'm interested in that 4-minute, Paul, as a sort of a teaser. The other thing that people are doing, and I'm right now, I'm sort of backpedaling here because we've talked about this already, is that 1 minute, your story, your personal reason why you're compelled to share this information with somebody. Your little 1 minute video could do a lot. So if you've got 100 contacts or 200 contacts, or like I do 3,000 contacts on my phone, and you had that 1 minute, here's what I'm doing, here's why I'm doing it, and here's why I'm compelled to tell you about it, to see if there's any interest in learning about it. And then you send that video out by text to all those people, then you're prospecting. Then somebody's going to reply, interested or not interested, or tell me more, or whatever. Now you have somebody who's leading into the conversation, and that's the person you're going to pick up the phone and start getting the information flow started. So let me, if I may, share with you the current version of the Better Way presentation. So hopefully everybody can see that, because I can't see you right now. I don't know why I can't see you, but I can't see you. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder why I'm not. Okay, good. I don't know why I'm not able to see you guys as I'm going through this. Normally I'm able to see at least somebody. Interesting. Okay, I don't know how to change that. So let me just stop sharing for a second. I can see everybody, and it is recording, and I don't even see myself in this recording. Okay, never mind. I'm just going to do it the way I'm doing it and hope for the best. Okay, so let me just walk you through this thing. So here we go. Notice I'm using images from the NICAN weekly gathering. So this image, A Balanced Life, Happy Life, it's a really nice logo. The 5 dots here representing the 5 pillars, a better way. So give some continuity to the materials, so that when they do join some of the weekly calls, they're going to see some continuity there. So we create a better branding of who we are, so it's a little bit more in sync. In any event, let's carry on. Oops. So I like to start with this commentary about what life would be like if we had no limits, and why it is that we're so fascinated with singers. It's because when they're up there doing their thing, there's nobody else. They're just one with the universe and present and alive, and just belting it out. Like, it's just an amazing thing that we're all fascinated by. We probably would be a lot more like that if we didn't have so many, self-limiting ideas and pressures. And what kind of pressures? Well, kind of pressures that modern life has created. And this lists a number of them, from financial worries to family responsibilities, etc. Then we go to this slide, which asks, is your life in balance? What are your 2 top priorities to improve balance? And this, of course, is the why slide. This image that you're seeing on the screen right now, that is going to be the printed one, replacing the old one. That'll be the first page of a flip book that you can use to sit down or to send somebody or whatever in a one-on-one type environment. But of course, the most important thing here is to identify their top 2 motivators. What is it that would be driving them that would stand out? So in a live presentation, you could ask your audience if they've been handed out a handout that we talked about last week, where they did an evaluation of their 5 pillars before the meeting started. Then they could, you could ask the audience out loud, which is what I'm going to do in Montreal, my next meeting. I'm going to ask them, shout out, what's your 2 top priorities? And you're going to hear people shout out body, mind, family, society, and I'm going to sort of note which ones stand out. And typically we expect body and finances to be the top 2 categories, which is what we're going to focus on in this presentation. So what we talk about next is the idea of how things become what they are. Choices lead to behaviors, behaviors lead to habits, and the habits create the outcomes in our life. Whereas a small choice with some consistency and time can make a huge difference. And that's what we're talking about, looking at our choices and making those choices with consistency, the choices that lead to well-being. Here's an example, a very sobering comparison between how the West treats health and how the East, the Far East in particular, Japan, treats health. The difference between a sick care versus a self-care approach. And you see these stats on this page are pretty impressive, where Japan ranks #1. Their life expectancy is almost 10 years more than ours. Their cost of healthcare is 1/3 ours, and their prevalence of obesity is 10% of ours. It's just absolutely staggering, the difference. And of course, the cost-effective difference is something we should be making note of and emulating. And so it wouldn't surprise you then that the solution we're presenting comes straight from Japan, born in 1975, redefining success as the pursuit of balance in these 5 pillars of wellness. And
Do you
now we
ever
go
have
into
days where
video.
everything in your life
I'm
feels
hoping you can see and
imbalanced?
hear this.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
When your mind is clear and your
So,
body feels in tune with
If you
nature?
haven't seen this video, it is
When
in the
everyone in
Nikken
your
app,
family
to
is
the
healthy
share
and
app.
happy? When you belong to and
But it's
support a
great to be
warm,
able to present
loving
this.
community?
So the visuals, the music,
When you have a
the-
stable income and
it
no
all
debt?
it all speaks to the credibility of
Mind,
Nikken.
body, family,
I'm going to jump ahead.
society.
And then we get into active wellness. So what is active wellness and the Nikken Wellness Home? Consider the things that are stressing our body, the burdens to our body. It is stress of any sort, but it's sleep, it's outdoor air, indoor air, water toxicity and pollution, malnutrition, and electrosmog. I added that one because that's a very real factor impacting our health, regardless of age and regardless of our sex. So this body burden, how do we deal with this? It's not like you can hide from it, but there is a way to deal with it. The answer is self-care. Become aware of the choices that you have and then start to make those choices with some regularity. Enter Nikken in the Wellness Home. It's an approach to, it's called biomimicry. It's an approach to using technology and oriented approach to where nature and technology meet. That's where Nikken comes in. They're the research company that helps bring technology to bear that replicates nature. And so here we go. We introduced the Nikken Wellness Home, and this is where you have a chance to give them the concept. Imagine a greenhouse for humans and the various categories, the 5 elements, or science that replicates nature, the active wellness products, each category, air, water, sleep, nutrition, natural energies. Then we go into how they can get involved with these things. Now, if I was doing a wellness preview, a live meeting, at this point, you would be introducing the products, but what you want to do at some point is do testimonials. Here you can do your testimonials, or you can wait up, show them how they can get these products in various ways. The Yes My Wellness Home link, for instance, that they can receive 10% savings and free shipping as a possibility on these packs. There's also the Start My Wellness Home option with the PyMag waterfall, where there's a free shipping offer if they're looking at this as a consumer. So now that's the customer approach. Let's hear from some of the people who've actually experienced these products. And here's where I would do the testimonials, people who've embraced active wellness through Nikken, and then you can do your testimonials right here. Now we want to transition. Building on Nikken global wellness community is the focus of Nikken and its business opportunity. Vision 2025 is to add 10 million people to who are practicing active wellness. So this is our transition to the business conversation. Now, why is finances the #1 source of people's stress? And here's the education part, where they learn that most people are stuck as an employee or self-employed, trading time for money, when in fact, what would be advisable is that they learned how to add value by creating multiple sources of income. And each time, for instance, they enroll somebody in NECAN, that is a new source of income. And they can create many sources. There's no limit. And just like Uber and Amazon have taken a platform and leveraged it into multi-billion-dollar status, NECAN is taking their platform and allowing people to leverage it so that they can create their own NECAN opportunity. Here we go with this, with how we do it, the simple way of doing it. You can do it anywhere. You can take advantage of the NECAN Share app, for instance, and so forth. So now we're showing them the ease with which it is to share NECAN and how simple it is as a process. Join NECAN, share and promote, invite people to learn about it. NECAN does the heavy lifting, drop ship the products direct to people, and NECAN pays and rewards people based on the compensation plan. So that's the system that they're buying into. That's the system that they're leveraging. We also have, for those who are looking for more than just income, but actually a business and a personal development plan, this is a path for personal economic stability long term. Of course, it's our mentoring and so forth. And in keeping with that, growing our global wellness community is that concept of collaboration and mentoring, the support system that NECAN offers. One of our pinnacle starting points is our humans being more training. And so, and this is a visual representation of what it can look like, a pebble in a pond. Drop a pebble in a pond, and you create a ripple effect. Here you are sharing NECAN, creating wellness homes and wellness consultants who are joining your team. That pebble in the pond can ripple out. And as we help people learn how to use the NECAN platform and the NECAN system, that rippling out can make a huge impact. And if you're looking at this as a business, we also have the Build My Wellness Business link. And these are the packs, the Legacy Pack, Relief Pack, and so forth that people can option into, which includes some free product. Now, you've seen it all. You can be a customer if that's what you choose. Get your NECAN Wellness Home started. You can upgrade, become a consultant, and you can go all in, build your wellness business and partner up with somebody on your team. So that's the presentation. Short, sweet, to the point, and then of course you can elaborate to whatever degree you want. The stories are the best part of it all. Barb, you have your hand up?
I really like this new presentation, Mike. The update's fabulous. One question. Are you going to do a video and narrate this to make it available for anybody to use? Or are you going to depend on people just to be able to download the PowerPoint and narrate it themselves? Because I think a brand new person that's truly interested in building a business while they're building confidence would benefit from a proper narration of the PowerPoint.
Yeah, the goal here is to get it out into circulation for those of you who are starting up some live meetings, so you have some tools to use. What we want to do is we want to kick off a series of presentations with our A-listers. So we're collating a group of what people consider their favorite speakers in NECAN, so that we can actually record this meeting and then use one of those recordings as the preferred presentation that you can just send somebody the YouTube link who's really looking further into NECAN. They want to really see the whole story. So that's the goal. Any
Well, very
else?
much like the new iteration of the Better Way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, aligning with success tonight is like, hey, I can use tonight even, so why not?
You probably could. Yes, Lynn.
Sorry, Mike, almost towards the end, when you are in a slide to giving options
Yes.
to become a customer, consultant, and business partner, My question is the middle one, consultant, when somebody just becomes consultants to get wholesale. Is that something, what that slide is going to be narrated, let's say it was by you? That was my question.
Yeah, notice that I have the upgrade link.
What do you mean?
So a customer, when somebody becomes an ECAN customer,
Yes,
which is the first option,
yes,
they can log into their back office and there's a link at the very top that says
Yes.
upgrade. So they can click upgrade and then register as a consultant. They can upgrade their account to a business account. And then from there, they can participate in the compensation plan. So the actual process that we want to encourage is the migration of a person going from the left side to the right side.
okay,
Not,
so then,
not sidestepping anything.
okay, so that means then consultant, then we're encouraging them to be a partner to build.
A partner to build, a consultant when they want to upgrade to building a business. So a consultant is just a status that
Okay,
somebody has a business account. What they do with that is the question. A partner is somebody who wants to build the business. So they're going to partner with their sponsor, with their upline, to set some goals and to launch their business and to start building their business. So the consultant is not something we're saying, join so you can get a discount. That vocabulary doesn't
Okay.
exist.
yeah, that's
The
something. that
discount
was-
is in the link. So
Okay.
in the first link, Yes My Wellness offers a discount if you go that route, or if you want to just start with the water product, there's the Start My Wellness Home, and there's your free shipping benefit for somebody who just
Okay.
wants to start with the product. When you're ready to maybe build a business, then you might want to consider upgrading. So what we're subconsciously showing somebody is a path.
Okay, that makes sense now. That makes sense. Just last thing, I noticed you had a grayish bar in every single slide. That was in my view. I don't know if anyone else seen it. Is that something in your slides?
What did you
It was
see?
on the very top, was a very thick, just gray bar. It was covering part of the slides. And that was what I saw on every single slide.
I also.
It was blocking out your titles, Mike.
Yeah,
your
there was a
top
bar.
titles.
There was a bar across every single slide, Mike, when we were seeing it.
Let's see if
Yeah, it's dark gray. Yeah, you made it larger now.
I made it larger now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then smaller,
Um,
but it's still covered.
Oh, it's on top of your desktop, Mike. It's got nothing to do with the slides. It's part of your desktop.
well, if I go into slideshow,
I think
you're
if
still,
if you take it out
We
of
still
full
see it,
screen,
yes.
that's really interesting because I have,
It doesn't show on your PowerPoints at all, Mike.
It does for me right now. I'm sorry. It's every
Yeah.
single
No,
slide.
but not on the actual slides, Lynn. It's not showing on the slides, just across the top of the screen.
so
Mike-
you're seeing something across the top of the screen right now?
Yes.
I am as well.
Tell me if it moves.
No,
No,
You're still seeing something on the
now it's
screen.
gone.
It's
Now-
gone now?
Now
It
it's
moved.
moved.
Now it's at the bottom.
Yeah,
Okay.
now it's on the bottom.
That's interesting. What you're actually seeing is the bar, the toolbar. That is so bizarre. This is the toolbar that shows I can mute, I can stop video, I can pause, share, and so forth. That's really weird that you're seeing that it's not
I've seen
going,
it at every slide, Mike, for me.
it's
Mike,
not going
yeah,
away. It's a,
The toolbar is below the slide where we still see the participants share screen, record reactions and so forth.
you're
The
seeing
bar
that. You should,
now is in the upper, well, it's not even, now it's at the very bottom of your slide.
yeah, you shouldn't
Now
see
it's
that.
in the middle of your slide.
I have no way of removing this tool. This tool should not be there. It's the
Is it
strangest
moving-
thing.
is it moving with your mouse, with your pointer?
Yeah, this is a flaw with the system. This is right now, there's a problem with the system because I cannot remove this. I have no means to remove that, whatever they call this thing.
Now it got bigger again.
Yeah, it's
It's
hide floating
completely,
meeting controls. Now it should go. Is it gone?
no,
Oh, it's
very
little.
It will be in a second.
There,
it's gone. Yes.
it's
Okay,
gone.
so actually have to hide the meeting tool. Wow. So live and learn. Now I don't know how to get out. Now I
Call
don't
on
know
the
how.
troops.
Okay, call escape. There we go. This is new. That's new. Didn't do that before, so I don't know why it's doing that now. D, yeah.
Well,
or
you
wait, we
know
have-
the expression, Mike, we either win or we learn.
both.
Well, this never happened before, so I'm surprised. Wellness Home, who is that?
Mrs. Kramer,
Mrs. Kramer, how are you?
I'm fine, and I have to make a request once again. I
Yes,
do not use YouTube. Can you please upload to something like Bright Eon, where a lot of people who don't use YouTube, they're not married to YouTube, will be able to see these things.
that's something that you might have to be able to do on a special request, because it's not something I'm going to do as a rule. It's just simply not. It's like speak another language because a few people speak another language. English is my language. I'm not going to learn another language. So it's just YouTube is ubiquitous. So how to get, like, Telegram is even an option for sharing stuff, but honestly, I
Telegram is
don't.
Great, but when you upload a YouTube thing on Telegram, it doesn't have to put it on Telegram, because you click on it, it still goes to YouTube.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't know how to get around that with all the videos that we're producing on a weekly basis.
What's your
And-
concern, Mrs. Kramer?
It's
Well,
about-
YouTube is owned by Big Brother, so if you have any concerns about your personal freedom and your information and so forth, then, I mean, it's another world, right? It's,
Yeah, and it's a matter of values, shared values, and I
yeah,
don't support their values. Not,
yeah, no,
So
I
it's not
understand. I don't
Facebook.
know that I can accommodate you. We're dealing on skeletons, like just to get this enough is one thing. I don't know how to, maybe you can send me an email and give me some instruction on that. goodvibesintl@gmail.com. D.
I love that you included the electrosmog as part of that. I think that's such an important piece. Even to people who may see it and say, what is that? Because some are not even aware how that's affecting us. And then when do you anticipate this new presentation will be available for
Oh,
us?
I'll upload it before the week's out.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm just gonna, once over it, just give it that final touch and then just let it go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome. Barb?
Sorry, I forgot to take my hand down.
Okay, Paul?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there are permanent incentives as soon as somebody becomes a consultant. And the compensation plan promotes them. It doesn't take much, 500 points, boom, somebody's senior, it's just, I love it.
That's
I
a good
just love
point.
it.
That's a nice way of articulating that. There are permanent incentives when somebody becomes a consultant.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Nice way of looking at that. Mrs. Kramer?
Yes, I forgot to ask. I was not able, of course, to be on the Saturday call where they announced I think it was the Saturday call where they announced the new fresh something, and it had a picture of a lemon. And
Oh, yeah, that's the new product, the new,
yeah, but I don't know what it is. I don't.
it's fabulous. Guys, I got to taste this thing a year ago. I don't know why it took them so long to release it, but my God, it's fabulous. So
What
it's
is
Jade
it?
Greenzymes with the citrus twist.
Ah,
So it tastes phenomenal. For those of you who like the original taste of Jade Greenzymes, you can carry on with the one you've got. But if you want something a little different, maybe a little bit easier on the palate, it's with a slight citrusy flavor. It's delicious. I can see this thing flying off the shelves, and the fact that it's available in packets, individual packets, means we now have a sharing tool, which is why it's also on the Nikken Share app. Now you can send something out for people to try as a sample. Samples are really, really important in our business for people to try, number one. Number two, it is volume. So if you have a team that's in the habit of sending samples as part of their business production, then, or their cost of doing business, then you're going to have volume just coming from the auto ship on those samples. So think about the strategy there. It's twofold. Barb?
Oh, yes. fantastic.
We had several colleagues on our ATR call this morning that have been beta testing the new product. And they said they found it to be very refreshing. Children absolutely love it. It's slightly sweeter than the original Jade Green Zyme. So some people didn't like the taste of the original Jade Greens. I quite like it and have it every morning. But this is a very refreshing alternative, and you can taste the citrus element in it. It's not overpowering. And then somebody asked the question, if a person is used to having a warm drink of water with lemon every morning, if they were to continue to do that and take the Jade Greens with the lemon, would there be a conflict? And Randy Rolfe said, absolutely not. There's no conflict. However, like the original Jade Greens, these cannot be put in hot water or warm water. It must be in cold water, or you destroy the benefits
Of the enzymes, yeah.
of the enzymes in the green zymes. But taking warm water with lemon and taking this, you're not creating havoc. Like, they're not fighting each other with the internal system. They're quite compatible.
It's a great product. I would recommend you immediately order a box for yourself. Sell yourself first, because you won't convince anybody if you're not sold. But I can assure you, once you try it and you let some of your family members try it, they're going to want it. Yeah, it's definitely a winner. We need a product like this. I would have liked a little bit more fanfare about it, but you know, that's, I guess, our job. Let's see. Let me get back to, so we're good on that. That's the PowerPoint. There is going to be a business PowerPoint where it's just going to be a little getting started and a little bit of basic training that I'm going to be doing, and I might be starting up on a Saturday again with that presentation. In any event, let me get back to the thing that I was talking about earlier. I was sharing this idea with Leo's team about having a clear vision. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier about the idea of intention. So for those of you who don't have a spiritual thumb, you don't need to listen. But for those of you who understand you are a spirit having a physical experience, pay attention. Your spirit is in constant dialogue with the Creator. Your human form, where your consciousness rests, the one that's hearing my voice right now, your conscious awareness, is not in touch 100% with your spiritual side. The whole concept of meditation, the whole concept of prayer and so forth is to establish a connection with the higher self, that self that operates at a higher frequency. Now, the truth is we are constantly manifesting from above to below. As above, so below. We are manifesting into form what our consciousness is allowing to manifest into form. Our consciousness is the filter and the gateway. So the pure consciousness, that part of us that's connected to the universe and all possible realities, sees perfectly, sees you in perfection, is perfection. The physical part of you that's experience that you're conscious of, that you're experiencing in human form as in the flesh, that part of you is only experiencing what you allow it to experience. And a lot of people think, well, it's God's will. No, it isn't. God's will is in this, but your will overrides God's will, because your will is free will. And that's what God's will is for you, that you actually have free will, meaning he allows you to have a filter. Now that filter can be used any number of ways. Some people use it for good. Some people use it for bad. Some people are just indifferent. That's not the point. The point is, it is the gatekeeper of all our potential, of all what we experience in the flesh. So if you want to experience a greater version of you, you have to open the valve. You have to allow more to flow through you. And because everything that flows through you is cyclical, what goes through you comes back and returns to source. Everything originates from source, returns to source. Okay, that's how it works. It's a closed feedback loop. The filter is you. You're the gatekeeper, your conscious mind. So if you want to experience better results in your life, better results in your health, better results in your business, then you have to augment the valve, which is your consciousness. You have to shift the frequency that you're thinking on. You have to align yourself with a higher frequency, get closer to your spiritual nature. And we were talking about a diamond, because Leo's goal is diamond. And if you think about what a diamond is, it was coal. It was opaque coal at one point. And then it becomes this beautifully crystalline, clear, luminescent, transparent thing when it's put in the right condition. And the right condition is pressure and heat. Excessive amounts of pressure and heat turns coal, carbon, into a diamond. Now, what else is necessary for it to have all that brilliance? You have to shave it. The diamond is a stone, but you have to cut it. So there has to be somebody who knows how to actually cut a diamond and cut it in a way that creates the ability of that face of that diamond to reflect light and create the brilliance that we see, that we so appreciate. That's that spiritual self, brilliant, transparent. Another way of saying transparent is in your nature. Are you transparent, or are you opaque? Or to what degree are you transparent? If you were in your highest form, you'd be very transparent. In other words, you're the kind of person who says what you mean and means what you say. There's no hidden agenda. The converse of that is somebody who never says what they mean, never means what they say, and there's always a hidden agenda. That's the coal. So our goal is to expose ourselves to enough heat and pressure so that we can become a diamond and be fashioned, if you will, by the coaches and mentors that we allow, preferably the ones who know how to cut the diamond, to help us become brilliant. If you think of that process as the Niken process, because at the end of the day, what is Niken? It's life and fast forward. You know, some people, they'll take 70, 80 years and they're still not very polished, and they're still not very transparent, and they're still not very luminescent. But what about those who in such a short period of time seem to become so all of those things that we admire and respect? Niken is that. It's like a fast way to achieve the end in mind, life and fast in fast motion. So you can get the benefits of being a diamond. What are the benefits of being a Niken diamond? Money, recognition, right? What else? Money,
Leadership.
recognition, what?
Leadership.
Respect.
Freedom.
Freedom, yeah. I mean, to whatever degree you consider freedom, but the most immediate things you get is money, what did I say? Money,
Respect.
recognition, and respect, right? Which gives you influence. So those are things that normally you give to people who've lived long lives and, you know, have been prosperous over this, 50-year journey, this 50-year arc. But a diamond ship could be like a 5-year arc for somebody, and still you receive all the benefits. It's like you're receiving your 50 years of income in 5. You're receiving your recognition in 5. You're receiving your influence in 5. So you're established. So if you really think of the Nikan opportunity as a playbook for achieving success, then it stands to reason that if how a diamond comes to being is coal becomes transparent through intense pressure and temperature, then wouldn't building a Nikan business subject you to intense pressure and temperature, if you will? Because if it didn't, how would you go from being coal to being a diamond? So the idea of the personal development, the subjecting ourselves, allowing ourselves to be subjected to this is what I'm talking about by opening the valve. When you open the valve, you step into a zone of uncomfortableness. Let's just say you're now not in your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is where you are familiar, which is the valve at what the throttle is right now. So you're doomed to repeat your existing scenario. And if your scenario is a trajectory that's taking you down, how's that going to ever turn around? So you have to open the valve. That's how you change the trajectory. Open the valve, increase your frequency by subjecting yourself to pressure. It's self-induced. And how you do that is you set a goal. The second you set a goal, you're self-imposing pressure on yourself. And if that goal is sufficient and big enough, then you're inducing the circumstances that are going to naturally lead you to draw to yourself the attention, the people, the situation, the mentorship, the information that is not available to you until you open up the valve. Meaning, you're not going to see the people who are going to help you become a diamond. You're not going to attract the volume. You're not going to attract the coaching and the mentorship. You're not going to even hear the words. You might be exposed to the words because you're on one of these calls, but they don't get in. They don't land where they need to land to make the change because the filter is there. If you remove the filter, if you open it up to receive, you might finally actually hear, and that causes a shift in your frequency, and now you're on a different frequency, and you're now allowing information in that was not allowed in before. That's how it works. And so to be willful about it, to actually invite in the problem, the challenge, to invite in the pressure, it's a good kind of pressure. The worst kind of pressure is the pressure you feel when you're on a trajectory of going down. Because what you're now imagining is, what does it look like at the finish line of that trajectory? And you're imagining that right now. And when you imagine that right now, what does it feel like? It feels like crap. So here you are feeling the feeling, which is repeating the situation and causing the feeling to perpetuate the situation. You're not turning it around. The turnaround doesn't come from perpetuating the same situation. It comes from elevating the circumstance, elevating the situation, inviting a new challenge, inviting a new problem, subjecting yourself to the pressure of that challenge. And that's how you open the frequency, how you open the channel, how you open the gateway, and become closer to your nature. Your true nature is transparency. Your true nature is high vibration. Your true nature is someone who says what they mean, means what they say, and manifests. And manifests consciously, because that's your true nature. The one that plays dumb, the one that plays, oh, I don't know technology, that one, stop that. Stop being a baby. Grow up. Stop giving yourself permission to be a child in a world that's moving forward. If you don't give yourself permission to move forward, you are going to be left behind in a past that doesn't exist. And as long as you're breathing air, why would you allow yourself to do that? That's a trajectory that you know leads to nowhere. Give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to expand. Give yourself permission to achieve a new level of high that you haven't achieved yet. This is not age dependent. It does not care how old you are. You know, Colonel Sanders, I think he started his franchise at 60 something. You know, he was just getting started in the 60s, right? And some of the greatest of greats, in fact, if you look at the greatest achievements are people in their 70s. That's historically the truth. So what are we waiting for? Like, we don't want to wait till then. Let's get on with it. And if we're already there, Barb, if you're already there, whoever's already there, already get on with it then. Elevate. Be somebody who's activating yourself. Don't let external circumstances be the pressure. That pressure is not motivating. That pressure is deflating. The only pressure that's motivating is the self-induced one, the one that comes from within. That's motivating. Give yourself a challenge. Give yourself a goal. Give yourself something worth living for. And then you're inviting the source of all creation that's connected to all things, including your spirit. You're inviting it to come through. And when you invite it to come through, it infuses every cell of your body. You will start to feel younger. That's what happens when you have energy, is you feel younger. And if you want to feel younger, the easiest thing you could do to feel younger is have a goal worth going after. You infuse yourself with energy from above. And now you start to attract the elements to you because you're on a different frequency. And you're becoming more like who you really are, a co-creator, divinely inspired, rather than inspired by external motivations, pressures that you don't want to heed to. So this is really the difference between the people who live outstanding lives and the people who look back on life and don't have regrets, versus those who, even in this moment in time, are regretting their life. So don't be that person. There's so many of them already, and they don't need more. We need to be the ones that show them there's a better way, and we have a better way. It may not be the best way, but it's certainly a better way. Let us show you. Give us the time to show you, and then see for yourself if it doesn't make sense. See for yourself if it doesn't touch your soul. See for yourself if it doesn't make your body feel different. See for yourself. Just give us the time and the chance. That's all we ask. That's how we live our purpose, is by asking. Barb, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I couldn't help but laugh when you were talking about age and learning new things, because when COVID started, I knew the basics of how to send an email and to do a little bit of posting on Facebook. And of course, we were cut off from doing one-on-ones and meeting people and building our business. And I'd always been a face-to-face presenter and a group presenter, and I loved doing it. And I sat there and I thought, what in H am I going to do now? And I thought, well, okay, am I too old to learn technology? And then I decided, I gave myself a kick in the butt, jumped in with both feet and thought, what have I got to lose? I just might learn something. I'm amazed at my age, what I've learned. I'm also amazed at how much more I have to learn. But every time I've learned something new, it's built a confidence and a competence in my previous skills to elaborate on them. And I'm having other types of successes now, still with the Nikan business, but using a different approach. And I'm having fun. So, you know, it's just changed my perspective in many different directions. So I don't care how old the rest of you are. I'm older than everybody on this screen. And I'm having fun learning new stuff. Even my daughter and my grandsons and friends of me are saying to me, how did you learn that? I said, you jump in and you give it a go. You make some mistakes. What I said earlier, you either win or you learn. There's no such word as lose, because you're learning something the whole time. and it's fun.
And it's fun. And that's just it. If you're not having fun, wow, that's not a life worth living. So fun has to be a key component. And I know where the fun comes. It comes from when you're excited and enthusiastic. It comes from when you're, why do we go to thrill rides? Why do we go see scary movies? Think about it. Think about that for a second. We purposefully throw our body into a thrill because it makes us feel alive. Why do we like trying different
Scary
foods?
movies, but I'll try something scary new on the computer.
There you go. The point is, we know when we're at our best. We know it. We've been there. And it's not when we're sitting back coasting. It's when we're in the throes of something that's challenging. And that's the way to live. Live every precious moment to your fullest. Be the harbinger of this news. Be the messenger of a better way. You know, that's going to give you sustainability. That's going to give you vibrancy. That's going to give you energy. That's going to take 15, 20 years of you, bring you down in youth, bring you more energetic, more excited, more youthful because of it. I know it because I see it. I see the people who are excited and what they look like when they're excited. And I see the people who are not excited and what they look like. It's an age differential on their face that's enormous. So NECAN is a vehicle. It's an opportunity for us not only to be living it, but to infuse others with it. So get out there, start banging down some doors. So I will see you next week with some more good news. Have a great month end.
Thank you.
Great call, Mike.
Thank you.